a kind of strange place to release in your body if you're having chronic headaches, and why it's so important and might even actually fix your headaches, coming up next. This is going to sound weird, but one of the main places in your body that can cause headaches is your belly. What? I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. Let me explain this to you. We have muscles in our belly that go up and down the front of the body, and that's called rectus abdominis. And then there's muscles that come around from the back and hook into the sides of rectus abdominis. Those are the two layers of the obliques and the transverse abdominis. All of those muscles attach together in a long tendon that goes from the ribs down to the pelvis. Now, because there's long tendon on each side and it's kind of thick connective tissue gets sticky. It gets stuck. Okay, so that's number one piece. Big, thick tendons going from the rib cage to the pelvis that gets sticky. Now add in, maybe you don't have perfect posture all the time. Maybe sometimes you sit on a couch and you slouch. Maybe sometimes you hang out like this. Maybe you drive a lot and you have a car that doesn't support good posture. Maybe you eat, right? And maybe you text. And maybe you work at a desk. All the reasons why we get out of good posture, right? We don't hang out in a back bend. That would be weird. Like, you're not going to just kind of hang out in a back bend, although I recommend it sometimes because it's going to help reverse that pull. See, what happens is connective tissue is binding, it's connecting, it's connective and sticky. So over time, when we slouch, those two lines of connective tissue that line the sides of the rectus abdominis, they get short over time. Now, here's the biggest trick of it all, is that connective tissues are much stronger than our muscles. Connective tissue that's stuck together, especially, is much stronger than our muscles. So you might find that if you slouch and then you go to sit up, like, okay, Kat said I have to have good posture, my chiropractor said I have to have good posture, I'm going to try to sit up. But then over time you feel yourself kind of falling forward and it's aching back here, kind of in the middle of your back. And that's a really common place for you to feel that kind of tension in the back when there's a big pull going forward. It's not just about muscles, it's about connective tissue also. So what happens when these edges of the belly get sticky is that they continue to pull the front of the rib cage down. So they will continue, you're trying to be up in good posture, and they're going to continue to pull the front of the rib cage down. Notice what happens to my head. My shoulders begin to round forward and my head juts out. See how far my ears are in front of my shoulder? Like, see that? That's big. That's like 4 inches. For every inch forward of your shoulder that your ear lands, you add the weight of another head to your muscles. Now, the head muscles have designed to do all different kinds of things. Like sternocleidomastoid turns your head side to side, but when the head's out here, it's like holding that weight, and it's like holding 5 bowling balls. It's really designed, the muscles are designed to hold 1 bowling ball. So you're going to keep getting pulled down and pulled down and pulled down, and your head's going to come forward, and that's going to fire up all the trigger points in the neck. And most headaches come from trigger points in the neck. So this practice is essential for really making a shift globally in your body to get yourself out of headaches. And the next thing that you're going to see is me using a soft ball only please, in your belly. And we're going to do some freeing up of those sides of the rectus abdominis, obliques, blah, blah, blah. We're going to release those lines of connective tissue. And I have worked with people. I had a client who came in with a terrible headache. And I said, okay, let's release your belly first. Released her belly, pew, 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 did both sides. I said, how's your headache? She did nothing else, laying on the table. She's like, it's like 50, 60% better. It's so much better. It's like amazing. from her belly, from releasing her belly. So you're going to want to do this practice, and especially if you feel a headache coming on, start here, start releasing your belly. So let's go to that practice now. All right, so now you're going to take that sweet soft ball and you're going to put it right on the side of your belly, kind of just right in the middle around your belly. So what I mean by side is, here's my belly button. I'm a few inches off to the side. I don't want to be right in the center of my guts. I want to be off to the side because that's the edges, like you saw in the picture, of rectus abdominis. So I'm going to put it off on the side, and I'm just going to wag a little side to side. Notice I'm on the right side, and I moved my left knee off to the side. I bend the left knee off to the side, and then I'm just going to rock slowly a little side to side. There are a few different ways that you can do this release. Just by putting the soft ball in there and putting some pressure in there is stretching that line of connective tissue. So you literally could just lay down. That's it. And take some deep belly breaths. Laying down, deep belly breaths, just putting that ball in that edge of rectus abdominis where it meets up with the obliques. Just that is going to be incredibly helpful. You can sink in, you can do a little wiggle side to side. Remember, not right in the center at the belly button, but a few inches off to the side. So now you could scoot your body down a little and bump right up next to the ribs, and you can safely do that with this soft ball. Right? You're bumping right up at the ribs. Just take a couple of belly breaths. Ah, so good. You could stay here for longer if you're feeling like a nice pull through there. You're getting a fascial stretch through there. Awesome. You can now go even slide your body up. I'm going to scoot that ball down so it's low in the pelvis. If you do a lot of driving, this area low in the pelvis above the groin, still in the belly and the pelvis area, it's going to be a little tight and extra sticky if this is your driving leg and you're using your right leg for gas and brake pedal. So sinking in. You could add a little extra pull by lifting that right leg up. Oh, that makes it so much more exciting. You could just lay down on it. Take some deep breaths in your belly. Ultimately, you just want to spend a couple of minutes. It takes a couple of minutes kind of pulling on the connective tissue for those fibers to start kind of separating and opening up a bit. And that's it. Now we've done the right side. We just did from the center, went up to the rib cage, down to the pelvis. I just want you to check and see how different that is from side to side. So if you come to all fours and do a little cat-cow, you might notice that the back of your body feels really different between the right and left sides. Do a little movement, wag your tail a little side to side. I'm going to come down into a little sphinx pose. Come up on the elbows, look forward. Oh yeah, my right side feels really free and open. The right side of my back, no problem. I still feel it a little sticky on the left side. So now we can go back and just go into the left side. I'm going to show you the easiest, simplest, sweetest way to do this. Just put the ball off to the side, to the left of your belly button, a couple inches, lay down on it. Put your right leg out to the side. And just take some breaths. I will let you know that the vena cava, aorta complex, those big, deep blood vessels pass through this area. If you feel a pulse, It's okay with this soft ball. You're not going to damage your tissue with this soft ball. If it's really uncomfortable, just move slightly off toward the outside. Just sink in. We're just going to take 3 more breaths here. Last one. Start to lift yourself up. There's that ball on the left side of my belly. Go right into a sphinx pose, elbows on the floor, looking forward. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so, so good. Come up and do some all fours. And I'm going to share with you a story. When I was on retreat one time, I rented a cabin. And that cabin, the bed was terrible. It was more like a hammock than a bed. And my shoulders were really messed up. I went to do yoga. I was like, ow, it's not working. And I have good posture. I'm doing all the right things, right? But I've been curled up in this ball, in this hammock, and just overnight, that's how tight your tissues can get just in one night. So without even thinking about it, because often I start my rolling practices by doing this belly stuff, I just got on my ball, did my belly, did some deep breathing, appreciating life. And then all I did was release the belly. And I went up to the front of my yoga mat, lifted my arms up, no problem. My shoulders were happy, my shoulders felt fine, my neck was freer because I released this pull that was contributing to rounding in my shoulders, and my shoulder muscles have to work so hard to resist that pull. Every muscle in your body is having to resist this pull. That happens in every human body pretty much over time. So you want to use the soft ball on either side of your belly, just a couple of minutes on either side. You can just sink in, or you can move it around, you can wiggle. This is going to help you significantly in all the other practices that you're doing. That's going to set the stage for your body to feel much more free. I trust this video has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kat here at Free Body. I'll see you next time.